You're not to be okay.
Go with that. Yeah. Okay, can we finally just get this over with so we can pack up and go home? 3, 2, 1. All right, here we are at our conclusion to these Black Sheep Milsim special edition. We have everybody back. We're all alive for the most part. No splints, no bumps, no bruises, and still an unblemished safety record.
Yes.
And notwithstanding the catastrophe of the weather this weekend. So
it was an interesting event.
It was very interesting. It's like, you know, you want to play Milsim in Wyoming? How cute. Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's snowing. It's like, well, describe the snow. It's like, is it heavy? Is it wet? Is it fluffy? Is it, you know?
It's freaking horizontal.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
What?
What? I mean, you're the skeptic of this event.
All right, you're right. I am. I was the skeptic of this event. Just like I do with every single one of these, I talk about my favorite event, East Wind, which is the absolute crown jewel of Milsim. And when I heard about what Major Bucciarelli has, I was kind of like, okay, fine, bring it. And he did. You know, I'm man enough to admit when I was mistaken, or to learn from my errors. So, yeah, you came up with a great Milsim event, and it was great on several different levels. The event itself was great. The event that you planned originally was great. The one that, you know, got all the snow dropped on it that we have in Wyoming. Then the Plan B event that you came up with in.
Okay, we're going to stop just so the viewers know. Okay. Keep your thought. When we talk about snowing, we're not talking about cancel school because of 2 inches. It was whiteout snowstorm conditions.
It snowed horizontally at us.
Horizontally, 8-foot drifts. Yes, 5-hour drive for me, just on a regular 2.5-hour drive from Denver. So continue.
We actually abandoned, and the Major might talk about this a little bit.
Contrast. We're just getting contrast.
Yeah, but we abandoned the first site because we were actually afraid if someone got hurt, we couldn't get a medevac in there. I mean, it was snowy, it was windy, it was what we refer to as a blizzard. Even in Wyoming, it was a blizzard.
It was a blizzard.
It was horrible. So then on 30 minutes notice, you just pulled another complete Milsim op out of your ass.
Yes.
And that was awesome too. And then
was that exciting for you? Was that your Milsim experience?
It was my wall. It was my wall, to tell you the truth, because and as I say, you either crash against it or you plow through it, and we did it several different levels of plowing.
Right. I mean,
do you want me to just briefly tell people what happened? We're sitting
they're
here.
not here to listen to us.
Yeah. On Thursday, we set up the whole event in 3 hours, and it was gorgeous. We were up there in shorts, 70 degrees. And then we saw the weather, and it was like, the storm is coming. And I'm looking at it, but look, there's a gap.
Well, I mean, it started misting, and it says, okay, at 6 o'clock it's supposed to be snowing. It's just misting still. I'm like, oh, we got this. We got this.
So on Friday morning, we wake up, and to go to breakfast, we're walking, leaning into the wind, and snow just pelting us. And we're like, oh, it'll end. So Saturday morning, clear skies. We go, all right, we're on. And we got permission from the Wyoming State Patrol to remove the closed barrier on the highway and convoy off. And
actually, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I didn't know they closed the highway. We need to get permission to reopen.
Yeah, we had to take you know.
You think you did, Milsim? We had to go through a closed highway. All right.
So we go to the road that we had marked with our beautiful Black Sheep Milsim that way.
Yeah, you had every intersection had to go this way.
Yeah, and we couldn't get up that road. So Art says
couldn't get up just the entrance to get over the cattle grade.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, we're talking like, you know, a 40-foot stretch of road that we couldn't get up.
That we couldn't get
I was there for that part.
Yeah, and then Art says there's another way to go. So we go in and we see this one hill, and we're going, okay, I think we can make it. But the Alpha Company and the 2-wheel drive cars, no. So the plan was we leave Alpha Company at the base of the hill, and we take all the 4-wheelers up, and we'll get up there, turn around, come back and pick up Alpha Company, park their cars at the bottom, and we're gonna have a Milsim event. So we get about a half a mile up the road, and we hit this drift, and the lead vehicle goes, whoom. We have to pull it out, and all the airsofters or Milsimmers that were with us start digging this drift out so we can get the truck through. And it happened again and again and again. And the roads were we were actually bypassing drifts that were 100 feet long and 4 feet deep on the grass.
And just to throw some more numbers in there, because I'm abacus and this is what I do.
Yeah.
So it's, one of our guys actually took his paracord and checked it on the map. It's 11.6 kilometers from that secondary staging area up to the site. And that number is important twice, once because of what you did and once because of what happens later.
Yeah. So we pushed through and persevered until we got to probably about 600 meters from the actual site that and we could not find a way through. We got stuck twice, and we just said, okay, we're walking. So we walk up the mountain, and drifts of snow and blowing wind that would about knock you over. So we crest the hill, and we're coming down into the bowl, and I'm going, Art, the wind's less in the bowl, right? No.
No, it just spirals around you.
Yeah. And so
How can we get wind from every direction at once?
Wyoming.
So we're standing on the top of this hill, and Art, his glasses must be better than mine, because he says, the tents are gone. And I went, I couldn't see it. So, and we're walking up, and that wind and snow completely destroyed our talk. Tents mangled and blown away, and
I saw them. They look like dead spiders upside down.
Yeah,
You just see the tent poles sticking out of there.
and then
I'm really glad you didn't share that analogy at the time.
yeah, and then 3 to 4 foot drifts around the equipment, and
You had to drift inside your trailer, right?
the doors were closed, and there was a drift inside the trailer. So we were still pursuing this, let's get everybody up here. And we were going to have everybody hike over the mountain. And it got to a safety decision, and Art and I got together. I think even you guys were in on that decision, that we got inside the trailer because we couldn't talk outside. I had a huddle with Josh and Neil and some players and some staff and some Op4, and Art and I as the two head guys, and I said, I want everybody's opinion. And we got to make a decision to either move forward and bring everybody up, or take the advance party off the mountain before dark. Because if we're up here still moving people, it's going to get dangerous. And so the critical decision there was that I think we could have gotten people there, but one of the XOs, it was Ross, said, this wind is so bad, a medevac helicopter would not come up here. And I went, and then that flashed in both of our minds. It's like, if we get everybody up here and somebody gets hurt, we're screwed. So that was the final.
And it wasn't just the snow. I mean, I had a friend comment on my Facebook post about, because he's been up here. He's one of the Ironsides. Mechanized unit. He said that the tanks are on the road so much it just pulverizes it into a fine powder, and it's like 8 inches of packed powder that you don't notice in the summer. As soon as it gets wet, it's just you sink down into it up to the lug nuts.
Liquid Play-Doh.
So that was pretty much, that was Saturday. That instead of playing,
so
that's what we got to do Saturday was.
The game was supposed to start at noon. And so at 3 o'clock, we made the safety call and said, okay, we're getting everybody off the mountain, let's go. And we were just driving back into Camp Guernsey at about 6:30. The sun is setting, and we said, we did it, we're safe. And I was like, now what do we do? These guys came here for a combat experience, and Art's a great guy, love him. And he said, well, we have all these simulators here, let's just put them on the simulators all night and have a competition, And I'm thinking, a video game instead of Milsim? That won't fly. So he started offering up some other sites, and we ended up going to the South IED lane. Now, to put this in perspective, I came out here, a month and a half ago? On the nationwide recon. This southern site was not even looked at when I came here. We had it all planned. So it was about 6:30. We drove in, we did a quick drive-by recon, and briefed the plan for the new event at 7:30 in the conference room. And that's where you get your.
And that was, then
And
you
it
said
wasn't
that
a
was your
rabbit.
wall.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
You
Because
had to pull on all of your experience and all of your knowledge and everything, and it had to pull on you pretty hard, I hear, the artist.
Can you draw? Do we have a map? No. Do you have a diagram? No.
Aerial view. Yeah.
The aerial view? No. Can you draw from memory? Maybe. I like crayons.
In this world, maybe means yes.
Yeah.
So most people don't understand what goes into event scenario development and point system and scoring and balance and
Spent half a year working on this.
Yes. So we had this whole thing planned, and in 30 minutes or an hour, we reconned it, designed it, and briefed it, and then we occupied that site at 8:30. Game on. Yeah. We deployed out. Companies moving in and assaulted this village at night. 2 hours later.
And whilst obviously that wouldn't have happened without your leadership and your resources, but it was absolutely, I mean, your staff, made it all possible.
Yeah.
And just the player base that you had up here are the guys that are willing to, they spent the whole day just kind of sitting in a parking lot on Saturday.
Or climbing the mountain.
Or digging
trucks
out. There were a couple of people that decided to climb mountains. And we'll probably mention that later, a little bit later. But you had Milsimmers here, not Airsofters. So they said, okay, we're going to waste our entire day sitting here watching nothing happen. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to go game on. And they all did.
Yeah, and they were still smiling.
Yeah.
And it got bigger as the day went on. It's like the worse the suck happened, the bigger the smile got.
Yeah. And I think it's all a part of this thing that we love that's Milsim, and it's about soldiering. So if you notice throughout the day, it was about soldiering. Mm-hmm. And guys, this is just what I did in Korea. With M151 Jeeps and 4 feet of snow, and we're going over there, guys. Make it happen.
Yeah, your guys here. We've talked about this on the show before. Customers versus participants. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as I can tell, everyone here was a participant.
No,
I didn't notice any customers.
No. With the catastrophe that happened with not being able to use the site, you guys had thought ahead and planned, so all of the in-game MREs were all in that trailer.
Yes.
And was it 2, 3 coolers?
Two big coolers.
Gigantic.
Yes.
Even if you had like the hardiest guys with all the spirit, couldn't even drug that the 600 meters back to the trucks.
I can't lift it by myself.
Yeah. So what happened? Arthur was like, I think I got a couple cases of MREs around here. Team, Boulder Brigade stepped up.
Some of the teams stepped up.
Yeah.
Like,
Boulder Brigade.
Yeah, Boulder Brigade stepped up.
We got some MREs.
Yeah, we got food.
And everyone got their food. Not because, someone said, well, I paid for my meal. I'm not giving, everyone, it was community effort. Everyone shared, everyone, helped each other out, and everyone was fed, everyone was happy.
Yeah, a lot of these guys,
players made the event.
Well, they went, and we've talked about this before, and particularly over the past 2 days. They went and found their fun. They found their event.
Yep.
And
and it all goes back to soldiering.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
You talk about Milsim. You talk about the wall. You talk about soldiering. So I'm going to talk about it for a second.
Okay. Go
ahead. So Saturday afternoon, we're sitting there going, bored now. So where are they? They're at the site. Where's the site? It's 11.6 kilometers that way. Mr. First goes, you want to ruck in?
And I hate to reinforce anything Neil says, but
because we've been like this all week.
All weekend.
No, but